A few moments later.
I am so done.
Sad. Like, why can't I find a fucking real man that wanna be with me? Like, why? Why? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Why do you motherfuckers play too much? If y'all don't want a relationship, let me know.
Where are all of the good men? You know, this is a question that the girls are asking themselves a lot more in 2021 because men are bailing out of relationships, you know, so quickly these days because men don't want to deal with the family courts. They don't want to deal with the entitlement and a whole host of other things. But what is going on, gentlemen? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we got a few stories that you guys have sent in. But before we crack into it, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. And if you would like to support the channel, make sure you check out the locals link in the description. But we're just going to jump right into today's submitted TikToks and see what these ladies have to say.
Baby, 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 let me tell you something. You're gonna be just fine, okay? You're gonna be just fine. You are exactly where you need to be. Take a deep breath. Baby, you're gonna be just fine. Everything, and I know in my soul and I feel it in my bones, happens for a reason. Every single person you've met, that heartbreak, all those tears you shed, you're gonna be just fine. And you can feel anxious right now. You can feel lost.
Yeah, all of those chads that you went out with, all of those terrible dating decisions that you made, hey, it doesn't matter at all. You're exactly where you need to be. Notice how all of these videos, gentlemen, the common theme is removing accountability. Why don't men want me? Right? You know, like the first video, okay, where are all the guys who will get into a relationship with me? They're there. You know, dudes don't, there'll always be some guy who will come along and pick up the pieces in your life, but they never want that guy. They'll continue to go out here and chase dudes who have no interest in committing to them, go through all of this heartbreak, and then want to play the victim card as if all of these things are happening to them. None of this is happening. You know, we got all these single mothers out here, guys. We got all these ladies dragging men through the divorce courts, and all the while, you know, portraying themselves as the victims of their own decisions. I mean, of other people, excuse me. But in actual fact, it's just their own decisions that are causing these situations.
Lost, you can feel confused, you can feel stressed, you can feel sad. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna figure it out. This feeling that you have right now, where you are, everything you've been through, it's leading you somewhere.
Yeah, everything you've been through, everything that these ladies have been through, essentially is a consequence of their own decisions. All of those guys who broke your heart, they were gonna break your heart from moment number one. You knew that. That was the reason why you were with the guy, because you wanted to be the one that changed him. You wanted to be the one that got Chad. You wanted to be the one that was able to say, hey, look what I got, girls, and make all the other girls jealous, right? You don't care about the dude. You don't care about the relationship. You don't care about holding these things together. You know, all these girls out here, man, they want to get married and stuff like that, but they don't want to be wives, right?
Trust yourself. Have faith in yourself. You are far stronger than you think. You got it. You gotta take another deep breath. Hallelujah, baby. We're here. We're here, so get up. Take care of yourself. Drink some water. I love you. You got it. I promise.
I love how they say have faith, right? Like, have faith in yourself. Hey, it doesn't matter if the last 50 dudes you've been with, they've all broken your heart and not wanting to commit to you. You know, have faith. Just continue walking down your path because it is leading somewhere. Yeah, just continue getting with all these men who have no interest in you. It's all leading up to one big moment. You're going to find your husband. Hey, if you go through enough of these men who don't want to commit to you, then surely you'll find one, right? Surely you'll find one that'll commit to you. And the funny part is, like, as soon as these girls find a man who is actually interested in committing to them, they don't want him. You see women in relationships, man, you know, long-term marriages, long-term partnerships, whatever the hell you want to call them, right? And over time, they just treat their boyfriend, their husband, their partner like absolute garbage, okay? And we got all these guys out here in relationships and I mean, like, absolutely breaking their back, going to work, working in 9 to 5, trying to do all of these things to solve these ladies' problems, and they don't appreciate it. Because what they're doing is they're spending all of their time, all of their young years especially, going out making all of these terrible decisions with guys who, you know, have their life together, or maybe they, you know, guys who are out of their league, essentially. And so they're coming around, and at the end they're going, okay, well, I need, you know, I need some form of stability. So they get the average guy, and maybe they make him a stepdad or something like that, and demand all these things from him. And make no mistake, he's not respected. Right? All this advice, like we're seeing right now on the screen, guys, like
Trust yourself.
yeah, like that. Right? It's all just a bunch of BS, man. Like, it may seem kind enough, but you put this stuff into practice, and this is the kind of crap that ruins people's lives and marriages and all that kind of stuff. Which the lady at the beginning of the video was wondering why men don't commit. Why would men commit in 2021? It makes no sense. But let's continue on to today's next video.
This is it. I feel like every girl has that one boy that they're like, I'm done. This is it. I'm so over it. Like, he's canceled. And then he texts you and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh my God. I feel like.
Yeah, and then they go back. You know, there was a study that I believe it was Alexander Grace covered on his channel fairly recently in the last month or two. Don't quote me on that, but there was a study done, right, where they looked at women's dating decisions, and they said, okay, if a woman makes a bad dating decision and she regrets it, so let's just say she gets with a dude and and she regrets it afterwards, they looked at that regret and they wanted to predict whether or not the girls would continue to get themselves in those situations again, despite the regret. The answer was a resounding yes, they would. Just because a girl feels a regret for an action doesn't mean that she's not going to go out there and do it again and again and again. In fact, there is no correlation in that study, I don't believe, that showed that women, when they experienced that regret, that they were able to avoid it in the future, or that they were willing to. Because they can complain about dudes not committing to them, and they can complain about the dudes, treating them like trash, but they will go back again and again. And the good man, the guy who actually does everything for them, who, takes care of her kids, tries to solve all the problems in her life, is an ear to, someone there who will listen to her. She doesn't give a crap about that dude. Like, she just doesn't respect him at all. Let's play that through one more time and listen to what she has to say one last time.
I feel like every girl has that one boy that they're like, I'm done. This is it. I'm so over it. Like, he's canceled. And then he texts you and you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh my God.
Guys, these girls are never done. Right? As much as they say, oh, I'm done with him, I'm over him. This is why when we see a lot of stories on the channel, like the Reddit stories, which we'll cover towards the end of today's episode, right? And they'll say, oh, he's just a friend, or so what that he's an ex. If you do anything to try and remove her options, guys, these women lose their minds, right? Oh, like for instance, let's just say you're in a relationship, right? And your girl is talking to a dude and like he's quote unquote just a friend. She will actually probably drop you before she drops that friend, because she can't be affording in her mind to lose her options. She's always got to have like a backup, right? I kid you not, man. They've done like, I don't know if it was a study or a survey, whatever you want to call it, where they looked at whether or not women have backup options in marriages. And a lot of these women going around in marriages, guys, in marriages, for goodness sake, have backup men. Now, I don't know how you gentlemen feel about that, but personally, that's pretty damn disgusting, right? Like, we've gotten to the point in 2021 where marriage used to be a thing of, till death do us part. But we've got no-fault divorce now, guys. And these ladies out here, they can leave whenever the hell they want. And guess who loses out? It is the dudes who lose out. Okay, it's not the women who lose out. They want to say, goodness gracious me, get this, right? Before we continue on to today's next video. These girls will say, oh, marriages are beneficial for both men and women. No, they're not. They're beneficial for the woman. Right? They're literally beneficial for the women, and yet they have the nerve to say, oh, the men benefit from it as well. No, men are the ones out here losing all of their damn assets. They're the ones losing their kids, and everything in these relationships. These girls don't lose a damn thing. So it's just very rich to see these girls complain about it. And let's look at this. Let's pause this, okay? So when the guy messages her back, he's so cute, she's swooning, she's excited. She gets her dumb booty back in, apparently, And down here it says, remembers how he used to make you feel butterflies. Like, these girls are never done, man. I don't care what they say. Like, they'll always go back to that guy at some point, or even if the connection's there, guys. These girls are never truly done with their options. They'll always keep them around. Let's continue on to today's next video.
Update on my horrible dating life fail. I ended up going on a date with a guy I said I wasn't going to go on a date with. Went over to his apartment for a pool day. Everything's going well. We're vibing. After about like 4 hours, he's like, hey, I want you to meet my friends. And I'm like, okay, cool. Go over to their house, meet his friends. They ask if I'm coming to the party later. I'm like, no. He's like calling me an Uber right now to leave. It's awkward for like 5 minutes. And then he's like, I'm canceling your Uber. You should stay and like hang out more. I want to spend time with you more. And I was like, okay, whatever. But if I stay, I want to order more food. And then he's like, okay, well, just so you know, some like people's girlfriends are coming over. And I was like, cool. Not expecting it to be his girlfriend or a date he invited. I get back to his friend's house, start talking to the girls that are sitting on the couch. We find out within 2 seconds we're on a date with the same guy. They're like, we're gonna leave. This is not the vibe.
I find it funny how like these girls will choose men who clearly have other options and other women that they're seeing or inviting over and stuff like that, and then they want to act like indignant of that fact. Right? Oh yeah, so what? I chose a guy who clearly has other options, right? I went to a house party with him and stuff like that. But you know, it's just so like these girls want to act as if a wrongdoing has been done against them when they could just voluntarily not be there, right? And make no mistake, these girls who are complaining about the fact that men have multiple options, they will continue to chase that dude, right? Because they want to be the girl who won. They want to be the girl who finally won the guy over. Right, this is why in marriages and stuff like this crap gets particularly bad, right? Because these girls will spend all of their damn time trying to change a dude's behavior. Like, they will put so much effort in and so much emotion behind it to the point where guys look at it and think to themselves, oh, well, she must be talking sense here. You know, she wants me to change so bad. Maybe I should change. Maybe I should change my behavior. And then you change your behavior and she gets sick of you, bored, and leaves. Right, and yet you've got situations like this where a woman, this girl right here, has been invited to a situation apparently where a dude invited another date at the same time, and she's like acting as if this is a bit of an indignant or embarrassing situation to be in. You know, you should probably see him again. Like, it's really not a big deal.
They invited me to come with them to a bar and like hang out, get drinks. So both of his dates left and went and partied together. We got drinks, ate some pizza, sent him a picture of us making out. Update on my horrible date.
I really don't think that she did that. Like, I don't even know if the story is real anyway. But it's funny to see like these quote unquote dating fails that girls go on. Like, I find it funny when we watch these videos together, right? How you'll get these ladies who will complain about, oh, there was this guy, and how come whenever you're with a guy, he just always follows other girls on Instagram, right? How come when I'm with a guy, he always does XYZ, right? And what they fail to realize is those are behaviors that girls actually select for, right? You could complain about dudes doing all of these different things, but the fact of the matter is that if you're complaining about it, like if the thing has happened to you multiple times, chances are what you're doing is you're actually selecting for that exact behavior. So for example, on the Instagram thing, right, you'll get girls who will get upset like, oh, he follows girls on Instagram, he likes their pictures and stuff like that. Or you'll get a phrase like, how come so many men just think it's okay that, you know, they follow women and like their pictures and all that kind of stuff. And what that's actually describing is the fact that she has selected men who engage in that behavior repeatedly. Like, whatever girls seem to have a gripe with, gentlemen, you can basically just assume that that's what their dating history looks like. For example, like this sentence right here, before we move on to today's next video, right, you'll frequently hear ladies say stuff like, oh, I want a man who only has eyes for me, right? We've all heard that one before. Like, we want a guy who's going to be there for us and only has eyes for us and thinks we're beautiful and all that kind of crap. And then what you do is you check her dating history, and the past like 20 dudes she's been with, none of them have had eyes for her at all. Like, they've all cheated on her, or, you know, they you know, you come to find out that he was that guy that had following all the girls on the Instagram, liking their pictures and stuff like that. Like, you can't be watching these videos and taking them at face value, and these girls don't enjoy the behavior, because they're the ones that are choosing to stick around it. Right? You'll hear these situations where, oh, my husband cheated on me, and he cheated on me like 10 times, and blah, blah, blah. And you ask the question, like, how long were you with him for? Oh, 3 years, 2 years, right? As if this behavior just manifested out of nowhere and they just discovered it. Like, it's absolute BS, man. These behaviors actually, like, generally actually become a problem when the man actually, like, cares what the girls think about it. Right, so and we'll move on to the next video in a second here, gentlemen, but these girls they'll complain about it and they'll complain about it, but they'll still be attracted to him, still continue to see him, have bedroom fun with him and stuff like that. But then they'll only break it up when he apologizes or does something like that. Like, if you do enough digging and you actually ask them and you find out what happened at the end of the relationship, it's usually because he changed in one way or another and he actually stopped the quote-unquote toxic behavior. But let's continue on to today's next video. And I want to thank you guys again for sending these in as well. So let's continue.
Listen, ladies, I know it's late, but I have something to tell y'all. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Most men know the day they meet you what their intentions are. And because 9 times out of 10, the way we are designed as women, we're not thinking that way. We're like, oh.
Yes, you do. You absolutely do think that way. I don't care how many times these ladies want to play like the innocent role, man. Like, these girls know if they're going to use you for money, if they're going to use you for time and attention, if they're going to use you as a little status boost, or whether they're going to have bedroom fun with you. This whole, oh, we don't think like that. Yes, you do, right? You absolutely do. In the same way that, like, we as men, we know whether we're attracted to you off the bat or not. Right? Like, we know whether or not we're attracted to a girl. Girls know whether they're attracted to men very quickly. They don't need 6 or 7 dates to figure it out, man. Like, it blows my mind, and it's kind of sad to see how women will say this stuff to men, like, oh, I just need to figure you out, and like I need more time to think about us and all that stuff. Meanwhile, she's out there with some dude, you know, seeing him all the damn time. And yet you've got to jump through 6 dates or something like that because, you know, she's just trying to figure herself out or some crap.
Oh my gosh, they like me and I like him, and we start planning things out, and in reality, they know they're not going to do with you long term. So this is how we can save ourselves the heartache and all that extra stuff and getting in the feelings, okay? How about we just start having a little less intentions with them as well? And typically we know as well from day one that they're a fuckboy and we shouldn't deal with them either.
And yet you do. Right, and yet you do. And guys, I'm reading a comment off the screen, so if you guys can see my cursor right here, again, the comments are to the right, right? And there's a comment off the screen that says here from a woman, and it has 750 likes on the comment alone. And it says, dude literally told me he has no intentions for me, and I'm over here talking to my friends about him as if something more was going to happen, shaking my head. Like, they know that dudes are not interested in them. They know that men, you know, what men have no interest in committing to them. And those are the guys that they choose, right? So, you know, all this complaining about how we're the victims of the situation. No, it takes 2 to tango. You know, you want to see a dude, you want to have the fun, spicy time. It's like, these girls know what they're doing. They wouldn't play it off as though they have no part in the decision making of a relationship, right? Girls literally have most of the power insofar as relationships and whether they happen or not. Now, guys can choose whether or not they stay and continue to commit to you, right? And guys who have options can choose whether to commit to you or not. Like, guys kind of bargain with their commitment, okay? But these girls, they can have a relationship whenever the hell they want. There'd be a line of dudes, you know, ready to save this girl's situation if she became a single mother or stuff like that, right? But all the guys who are ready and willing to give up their, you know, their freedom to care for girls like this man, those are not the men that she wants.
And the best thing we can do is just focus on ourselves, get a bag, some business, let's heal, let's work on ourselves, because the man that's out there who's going to love you and value you can't get to you until you leave these guys alone.
And how is getting the bag going to work? Right? Now, I don't care. These girls will say, oh, society wants to pressure us into having kids and doing all of these things and becoming a housewife, right? Dude, nobody cares what these ladies do, man. Nobody's saying that you can't work for the rest of your life if you want to. Like, if you want to go out there, you want to get a job, you want to get the bag, nobody's stopping you. Like, it's so funny to see women will say, oh, we're oppressed. Oh, there's a wage gap. Oh, we have it so difficult. We can't get positions of power. Like, nobody's stopping you. Nobody's stopping you. It's just a lot of these girls, man, they get to 45 and they realize, wait a minute, I lost my chance to have children. You know, I'm not as viable as a prospect for marriage anymore. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to blame the men. You know, it wasn't me. It wasn't me wasting my damn time and going out here doing absolutely nothing. You know, it's like they can chase the bag if they want to, but that's not what makes these ladies happy. You can look at them later in life. These girls who are single, unmarried, with no kids, at 40 plus, man, they are incredibly unhappy. I'm telling you, these girls, like, you can get the bag if you want. Nobody cares if you want to go out and get your bag. Like, go for it. Society's not telling you to do crap. It's actually your body telling you, right? Because you cannot have kids forever. And if you want to get married, okay, those guys that you really want, or, you know, having access to dudes, you know, usually requires you to look better. Like, these girls will get older, they'll become less and less attractive, and then they'll complain about, oh, how come men aren't paying me attention anymore? Right? Even though they're still getting way more attention than men get in general ever, right? Their options start to diminish. The dudes that they used to have access to no longer are interested in them, and it takes a huge hit to their ego. But guys, we're going to be wrapping up today's episode looking at a couple of Reddit stories that you guys have submitted. So momentarily jumping into the first one here, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying the video, and hit the like button if you're liking it. And let's just jump right into today's Reddit stories. So thank you for the submission of this one. And this one is titled, "My ex, who is a 30-year-old female, kicked me, who is a 27-year-old male, out of our house to date other people and now wants me back. I don't know what to do." So for context, around Labor Day, my then fiance told me that she was starting to have feelings for women and might want an open relationship, and that she had been feeling this way for months. I was devastated. My uncle came to move me out of the house that night, but she and I reconciled and agreed to figure things out together. After a week of a lot of talking, I felt pretty confident that we had come to some idea of how to handle it. Yeah, guys, hey, if your wife wants to leave the relationship, if she wants to have an open relationship, apparently figuring it out is the way to go. Guys, we ain't figuring out crap. A lot of men are done with relationships. There is no figuring out. There is no, oh, please come back, baby. A lot of men are just done with this crap, guys. We're not negotiating for girls. Like, it's so funny to watch this crap, and it's a little bit sad, okay? Where dudes think that, oh, we need to talk it out. We need to solve this issue. No, if she wants to do this, she can get the hell out, right? Or you can go wherever you need to go if it's not your house and stuff like that. But these women who expect to be able to have an open relationship, okay, you can have an open relationship by yourself. I'm out. Goodness me. After a week of a lot of talking, I felt pretty confident that we had come to some idea of how to handle it. Then, while I was on lunch at work, she told me that she wanted to pursue a relationship with her female boss and was ending our engagement and canceling our wedding, which was only about a month away. I had 30 days to move out. I laughed and moved out for that night. Man, I'm telling you, and this is something that I've said on the channel before, gentlemen. I don't care how long your relationship is. I don't care if it's a month, excuse me. I don't care if it's 20 years, man. Girls will up and leave you at any point in time if they feel as though it's a better decision for them. Right? We as men, we think that, hey, you know, I'm going to stay with her because I love her and I care about her, and, you know, relationships should be about loyalty, and I just want to show her I care and all that kind of stuff, man. Girls do what's best for them in relationships. Right? They seriously do. I don't care if you've been in a relationship for 10 years, man. If a girl feels like it's a better option to leave you and she has something else lined up, she's going to leave you. Okay? And that surprises a lot of men. Right? It really does, because that's something you're not told as a dude, right? You're told as a dude, hey, the more effort you put in, the more people are going to appreciate you. And what makes you a real man is your ability to stick around and to care for other people. Even when they don't give a crap about you. Hell no, man. Hell no. Over the weekend, she called me and sent me a long email about how it was all a mistake and she didn't want to date other women at all. And definitely didn't want to date another person anyway. She screwed up and wanted me back. She realized how stupid she was being. It was taking her a lot of responsibility for not communicating and hurting me. Yeah, so whenever these people go out here and they make dating decisions like this and they come crawling back, what it means is they failed with the other person. So you'll see dudes in relationships and their girl will walk out on them and, you know, go see Chad, and then she'll come crying back, right? Because she needs something from you and it didn't work out with the guy. Right? Because they think, oh, maybe It's called monkey branching, gentlemen, and sometimes girls actually fail monkey branching. So if you don't know what monkey branching is guys, I'd encourage you to look it up. It's kind of like a relationship term where girls will have what they'll want to do is they'll want to kind of get a grip on the next guy before they leave the guy that they're currently with is what it essentially means. But a lot of these women actually fail monkey branches these days because they overestimate how much guys actually care about them. Right? They think that, oh yeah, I can get this guy to commit, so I'm going to leave this relationship, and then the guy doesn't commit, and all of a sudden they're single and they're, and they need a dude to have kids with or get married and stuff like that, and they start to freak the hell out, like this girl did, right? So she called off the engagement and the wedding, right? And then she starts to freak out. It's been a couple of months, we've talked quite a bit. I've always made it clear that our trust is broken and it will take a lot of work to rebuild it, and I don't know if I can trust her again. She is telling me about how she wants to have kids and she wants to make it work and wants to get married next year and how it will all be fine. Yeah, this is what see guys, like when women fail this kind of crap, they've got to come back because they still want to get married, they still want to have the kids because they're running out of damn time. All of her friends are getting married. All of her friends are having kids. She's not going to be able to have kids forever. So now it becomes, oh, well, I'm going to go back to this guy and I'm going to try and sucker him in. I moved into my own apartment this coming week, and I'm moving into my own apartment this coming week, and she is telling me to give it up and move back into the house. I am conflicted. I love her, but I also got shafted real bad and don't fully trust her not to do it again. What do I do? Too long didn't read. My fiance wants to date other people, especially women, kicks me out of our house. So it is their house, regrets it and wants me back, and now we are 3 months later and she wants me to get out of my lease to move back in. Goodness gracious me, gentlemen, that is a ridiculous story. It saddens me to see this kind of stuff, man, because dudes need to learn some more self-respect. Guys, since a very young age these days, at 2021 especially, are being conditioned at such a young age that, hey, what makes you a real man is you've got to do all of these things for her. Right? And then these girls have the audacity to go, oh, well, I want an open relationship because I'm attracted to other women. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. Let's have a look at this. I, a 34-year-old woman, own a successful business with my wife, who is also 32 years old. So this is two girls as a couple, 34 and 32, of just under a year. They've been together for 4 years. She cheated on me with an employee. It was after a work happy hour that I wasn't at, and she was dodging my phone calls and texts. She says it was just some kissing. We had a trusting relationship up until now. She says this hasn't happened before, and I do believe her. We are in an at-will state, and as with many other jobs right now, we are a bit short-staffed. Other than the homewrecker thing, this employee has been a great employee. Nevertheless, I can't have her working for me any longer, particularly at the location my wife manages. My wife doesn't want me to fire her, saying it will make the culture weird and we're short on staff. I think there's no other option. Obviously, we'll be seeing a counselor to get our personal life worked out, but I'd like some input on how to handle the employee scenario. I never understand this stuff of like, oh, my partner cheated on me, or she kissed someone else, or whatever the case may be. So you know what the solution is, guys? We're going to go to therapy and we're going to work this out. There ain't no working crap out, man. And I think a lot of men are coming to that conclusion as well. Let me know what you guys think, but we're not here to work stuff out anymore, right? You break the trust, guys. The trust is gone. You can find your own way out. Like, man, I never understand this, like marriage mediation stuff, because what happens a lot of the time is like men will go to this stuff wanting to fix their relationship, or maybe bedroom funds not there anymore and stuff like that, and they'll go there, and what'll happen is the girls will just use it and weaponize it against the dude to try and get more compliance and more crap out of him. Like, oh, you want the bedroom fund? Well, what have you done for her lately? That's what these kind of deliberations turn into. Edit. The termination wouldn't be for this scenario. The termination would be for something legal on paper, like ending the employee's position. She's the only one in it. And of course, I'm horrified, embarrassed, and frustrated at my wife. Many of the comments make it seem like I'm on her side and only mad at the employee, which I want to clarify is not the case at all. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Thanks for all of the input. Now let's see what some of these people have to say, and we will wrap up today's show. The wife should be fired for hooking up with a subordinate. That's what will make the culture weird. I read through the comments and think I've crystallized on 2 points. The wife is the one with the primary responsibility for the marriage, not the employee. I'm not saying the employee has no culpability here, as they obviously have a professional relationship with you as well, but the wife is by far and away more responsible here. The boss is the one with more responsibility in a professional romantic situation, which leads to a professional fallout, especially legally. Invariably, the boss has more authority, more power, more ability to coerce or force than the employee has. Both of these points suggest that the OP should be removing the wife first from the situation, and that frankly she needs to understand and accept why this is the case. My personal prerogative is that, emotions aside, once I had built up the team, I would also be looking to remove the employee because I wouldn't be able to trust them, and I'd expect her to negatively affect the environment. Excuse me. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below. What do you guys think about today's story? And if you disagree with me, guys, feel free to do so in the comments. That's what they're there for. But all that aside, guys, we're going to leave the episode there. So make sure you come and join the Locals and the Discord, link in the description. If you're interested in supporting the show, gentlemen, Locals has an option for that as well. But otherwise, we are going to be calling it there. So as always, gentlemen, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.